Kieran McGregor here with Boxing Bants, and probably the most fitting press conference I've ever been to for the name of my channel, Boxing Bants Ireland. Yeah, I'm here with comedian Stephen Timothy. So Stephen, first of all, how are you?
I'm not too bad. How are you? I hope you enjoyed. Coming down to Galway and seeing the bit of crack in action we had.
Oh yeah, it was definitely a surprise, all right. Yeah. But first of all, Stephen, thanks for having me here. We're here in the Clayton Hotel, obviously in Galway. Debating in the Clayton.
That's what it's billed as.
And you and Paddy Barnes are going to have a fight in wheelchairs for charity. Yeah. Is that right? What date is it on?
It's on September the 11th. So yeah, we just decided. Kind of happened on Twitter really, and then we got chatting and he was like, yeah, I'll do it, and I was like, let's do it, but let's do it for charity and let's raise a few bob. And it kind of, I just put up the GoFundMe and people started to donate, and donations came in. Then Conor McGregor donated 10 grand, then a few other people I'd know that I'd plagued, celebrities like Finn Balor from the WWE and a few others that I've yet to get to. I will get to you. They've donated, and someone, even last night, someone wanted ringside seats and gave 750 quid. Like, you know what I mean? It's incredible. Yeah. And hopefully by the time September comes, the restrictions have lessened, and we can have a lot more people here, and we can fill this room, 600, 700, 800 people, you know what I mean, and make it a big thing. So
Conor McGregor said he'd fight Al Foran on it. Do you think that's going to happen?
I hope so. Well, like, he did donate the money, and he's been retweeting a lot of the stuff I come up, so obviously he's shown an interest in it, which is brilliant. Like, as I said it before, I'm not sure who I said it to, but I said just the image alone of him sitting in a wheelchair beside me in my wheelchair would, you know what I mean, would be so be such a massive show of solidarity to disabled people. Because as far as I know, he's never like sat in a wheelchair with someone or done a bit of sparring with someone in a wheelchair. And he doesn't like Al Foran's impression, so he's like, come on, let's fight. So hopefully, look, he retweeted the thing where I said this is the final lineup, and he retweeted it, so we're hoping.
Were you, like, a big thing now that's happening in boxing now is YouTubers and whatnot fighting in boxing, and a lot of it has been financial gain for them personally and the boxers themselves. But now, did you see that as a great avenue now to actually give money to, or like for charity? You know?
Yeah, absolutely. I'd be a firm believer in, like, we don't have enough morality in the world at the moment. There's morals go out the window, so like people are like, fuck that, give me money, let's enrich myself. Like, to be brutally honest, I could do with money. I haven't worked since March 6, 2020, so like there's no income. YouTube, as you know yourself, you get pittance, you know what I mean, so it might buy my two coffees every day. So I just said, like, we do it for charity. Like, you know, a lot of these YouTubers, Floyd Mayweather, they're rich beyond their wildest dreams. You know what I mean? If you're going to do a gimmick, then do it for charity. Like, they have the economic wealth to be comfortable from the children's children. So then do a gimmick for charity and raise money that way. So yeah, it opened the door, but I also wouldn't do it for my own enrichment or, you know.
Joking aside, obviously, as funny as the press conference was, this is all for... this is for charity, and it's for a cause of an Irish Wheelchair Association, for the Irish Wheelchair Association, and many different scenarios and sequences can happen in someone's life where they end up in a wheelchair, and it could be so many different ways that they end up in a wheelchair. How have you personally found yourself in a position in a wheelchair?
I had a road traffic accident in 2005. Damaged my spine, like I broke my neck and my back, and few other little bones as well, but they didn't matter in the grand scheme of things. It's the spine that affected me. So I've incomplete paraplegia, which means I have limited movement but very little sensation. So it's kind of hard to describe what it feels like to not feel your body but be walking. It's really strange. But like, saying that, look, I walk mostly on crutches, so to be able to do that, I know a lot of people that would be full-time wheelchair users that would give everything they have to be able to do that. So I'm lucky. But I do need the wheelchair for long distances, or if I know I have to stand for long periods. So yeah, so I always have it in the car, like, you know what I mean.
How old were you at the time?
I was 23.
Obviously someone who was entering almost like the prime years of their life, really. So obviously a massive shock to you. How much did it dramatically change your life?
I suppose it changed everything about my life, whether I want to confront that or be in denial about it. It changes everything. Like, you know, there's nothing that I don't do that doesn't revolve around how to do it with my injury. Or going into town, does that building have steps? Does that have too many curbs? Does that have 2 handrails? Will someone hold my crutch while I bring the other one up? It's like, it's everything. Even waking up in the morning, you'll wake up, you go to stretch, you'll have a spasm, your leg will go mad. So it's always there. You don't get over it because you're not over it. You can't get over it because you live it. So it's always there. And I've said it before, like, we're the largest minority in Ireland and the only one you can become a member of in the blink of an eye. You know what I mean? You can be part of our minority group with anything, with a stroke, with an accident, with, you know. And obviously a lot of people are born with physical disabilities, but, you know, yeah, it's a strange one. It's one of those little weird facts.
If there's a message sent out to people, what is the one thing would you say, from, let's just say, someone from my perspective? Every day I walk around and I might see someone in a wheelchair. What would you say is the biggest misconception of someone in a wheelchair?
I suppose the worst thing is condescension. Like, you know, it's a lot. Like, sometimes I get people coming over to me and they use terminology that's not used anymore. You know, invalid and, you know, things like that. And it's kind of even that invalid, like null and void. It means you're already wrote off, that you can't achieve something. So, don't get me wrong, I'm not a person to like ban the use of certain phrases or words around it. And it's my job to challenge that perception. But like, I just say, you know, see them as a person that can do what you do, and don't see them as, like, I want to kind of challenge that stereotype as a disabled person as you have to be like old and meek and shy and quiet. No, we can be bollockses like the rest of you. You know what I mean? And if you're going to start on me, don't not start to me because I'm in a wheelchair, because I will punch you in the face back. So, you know what I mean? Just like, you know what I mean? We're like the rest of you, you know, so, yeah.
So obviously the one thing that took off was your comedy, online, Instagram, everything. It's something that everyone is aware of, and obviously that's brought so much light to this. How did you go on this venture?
I suppose I done videos one night in the car with my brother to kind of relieve my boredom and depressive feelings, and kind of had them on my phone for a while, and then I threw them up on Facebook, and it just took off from there, and it was just an incredible ride. Like, I planned bits, went along with the ride and most of it, and people used to email me and ring me asking me would I do live gigs, and I was like, get away from me, I'm not doing this live. And then within a year I was doing my first Vicar Street gig, which is just unfathomable that you throw on a sketch for the crack and then you're up in Vicar Street, which is the like mecca of Irish comedy, you know, so strange.
How have you found the training? I've seen you train in Pete Taylor's, Phil Sutcliffe's and Crumlin Boxing Club, amongst many other places. How have you found it? Because I was saying to Paddy, I said, it can't be easy punching just from a chair. Like.
Yeah, it's a completely different dynamic, like, because you don't have that leg, you don't have that hip, you don't have that swing. So it's all coming from just the shoulders and arms, and it does take a lot out of you, and it is quite painful after a good session and stuff. And you know what I mean? Paddy will find that now when he's in the chair and his legs are confined. You know what I mean? He'll find that because he'll obviously have the natural reaction to put his leg down, but he's not going to be allowed to do it because there's going to be straps, and on mine as well. So it's a completely different dynamic, and it's a different way of training. But Paddy mightn't be training much in that way, where I will be, because I don't have a choice to stand up and train. So it'll be interesting.
Well, Stephen, thank you very much for your time. I really, really appreciate it, and I hope the show really does do well. And just before we go off, do you want to tell people what date, what time, and where can they get tickets?
So it's September the 11th in the Clayton Hotel in Galway. It'll be live streamed and all that jazz. So the tickets are already sold out, so you can't get them. But if the restrictions ease a bit, we might up that drastically, and hopefully. And the GoFundMe, that's the big one, the GoFundMe. So if you just Google Paddy v Stevo GoFundMe, it's all there. And thank you so much. I appreciate it a lot.
All right. Thanks, Stephen. Thanks.